Hi there everyone, sorry about that, the intro doesn't seem to want to work. That's a good start to the night, isn't it everyone? Oh dear. I hope you've all had a lovely day. I was up at some stupid hour this morning. Don't ask me what time it was, I don't know. I just know it was just about getting light. Because my cats thought, oh, it's getting light. I need to go outside. No, but they weren't having it. So in the end, I got up. So I hope you can all hear me here. So, yeah, we've had a nice long day. I thought, it's alright, I'll have a sleep this afternoon. I knew I was going to my daughter's about 2 o'clock, but I thought I can have a little nap about 12, you know what I mean, till about 1. Then I can go up and get myself washed and dressed and everything, go down to my daughter's. That didn't happen. Because by the time I finished what I was doing on here, on my laptop, I looked at the clock, and it was 1:10. So I thought, right, quick, get the kettle on. While the kettle's on, I'll go and get a quick wash, get myself dressed, come through, have a sandwich, and then go down to my daughter's. So that's what I ended up doing. Because from round about 8 a.m. this morning, I was on here setting up my new page. I've got another page. Please, if you're watching on replay, please go over, sign up, subscribe to it. It's called True Crime and Injustice because it's about the true crime, but it's also about the injustices that happen. Like at the moment, I've just put 2 videos out today on Henry Nowak. The young lad who's chased down, attacked, then chased down and attacked again, and then the perpetrators made out they were the victims. Yeah, this is all hitting off in the UK. People are not happy. Since that video was released of the police body cam, where for 3 minutes they did feck all for that lad. Nothing. Oh yeah, they did. Sorry, they did. They put him in handcuffs and read him his rights. Even though I counted in a short time, and I mean about 10 seconds, 4 times he said, I've been stabbed. And that was literally in 10 seconds. 10, 15 seconds. And they didn't believe him. They didn't even believe this other woman who phoned in to say that she'd seen a lad who was screaming he'd been stabbed. Didn't believe her. No. But anyway, that's for my other channel. So if you want to, because on here I don't discuss things like that. I discuss true crime, and I'll discuss the justice that we're going to get for them. But my other channel I've got is a bit more political minded. I will talk about the MPs. I'll talk about the police. I'll talk about the judicial system and all that lot. I won't on here. So, hopefully you can hear me. I don't know where my phone's gone. Oh, I don't know. So, we're carrying on from last night. And I've got a couple of videos I want to watch first. Now, yesterday we watched a few videos yesterday. One about him talking, right? And another one about the grandmother who spoke, the paternal grandmother on the father's side, not the stepfather's, the father's side. And I think there was one other. Yeah, and another one about 11 months ago about the RCM booking. So, hang on, I just got to get my to work because I think I could take it off charge a bit now. That's what I love about this mouse. I get batteries, plug it in and charge it up. Right, so we didn't get round to watching this one about the friends of the missing children, and another one about one of the searchers. And we didn't really watch the police confident, the RCMP Nova Scotia police confident in the investigation into this case. I don't know. I think they made some boo-boos at the very beginning. Right? But what I find odd is the stepfather will come out and talk. The bio grandmother, children's father's side, will come out and talk. But Malaya, the mother, won't. Right? So why is that? Why a mother who had 2 young children missing? She did one interview on this Saturday. I think it was on the Saturday. Was it on the Sunday? Yeah, they was reported missing on the Friday, weren't they? Was it Friday they was reported missing? Anyway, but it was the day after they was reported missing. She did an interview, but she made some boo-boos in that. Some of the wordings she used wasn't really like you think that she had some sort of a mental disability with the way she's speaking and the words she was using. But we know she didn't because people said, hold on. Okay, there you are. So we're going to listen to what her friends have to say, but right here it is, actual one. And then we're going to also listen to some of my favourite videos. I love to watch Kylie's, the Spirit Box sessions. She's got 2. She's done one for a child, which is nice because then we're not getting confused who's saying what and whatever. So let me just share this with you all. Hopefully it'll work okay tonight and I won't have so much, you know what I mean, buffering. And I set my new channel up. Link back up again. It's called True Crime and Injustice. Because it's based on true crime, which it is. It's a crime, so it's true. Injustices of these crimes more than the justice. Right? So that's my new the channel I've just set up. And there's 2 videos already on there. Yeah, I've been working away like a busy bee today. And I wanted to get them done because I thought if I don't do them, I'm going to forget what I want to say. You know what I mean? And I've got to get out hopefully tomorrow sometime. And it's about the judge in the case. Thank you. Love you. So if you're watching on replay, please go and subscribe because it's totally different from this channel. I don't do lives. I only put videos out. And B, I'll talk about stuff that I won't talk about on here. I'm not joking. I did, I don't know if you're seeing it tonight. Probably wouldn't because mainstream media wouldn't be covering it unless you're seeing anything on YouTube about it. But they did like a flash protest. It went out today, this morning, or last night, sometime last night, this morning. Like a protest outside Southampton police station. And oh my God, the amount of people that were there, I thought, wow. Wow. And they had people coming who were being on holiday, but they should be there. It's important that they turn up to show their support. And I'm like, oh my Lord, it's better not kick off. But I'll tell you now, if they had kicked off, those police outside that police station had no fucking chance. No chance at all. But I'll be showing that on a video tomorrow on my other channel. Hold on, I'm just sorting stuff out here. Oh, God's sake, I'm going to fall over my chair in a minute. Do you know, I had to get my screwdriver out today and tighten up the arms on this chair because it's still a bit rockety now, but they're not as loose as it was. So, oh my God, I'll lean on that arm of that chair. I'm going to go and tip over. So, this is video we're watching. One of the videos we're watching today is about 2 friends of Malaya's. Right? So we're getting insight into what Malaya is like. Because to be honest with you, that interview she did the day after her children had gone missing, because she said, last night was the worst night because my babies weren't with me. Right, so it had to be the next day after they'd been missing. She sounded like she had some sort of brain injury or something like that because of the words she was using and how she was talking. I thought, but we know she hasn't. So why is she talking like she was? Oh, you haven't seen it all? I'll put it on my video tomorrow. I've got to go out in the morning, but then I should be back by 2-ish. So I'll sit down. I've got all the information I want. It's just putting it all into a video then and then editing it. And editing, believe it or not, doesn't take that long no more. I think I've got used to editing. But I just do basic editing. I don't add anything else to it, you know. I don't add clips into it. I'll just take clips out. Don't start me off on adding clips into a video because that's a different setup altogether. So we're gonna watch this video. And I'm not gonna go large because every time I go large, I really have a lot of trouble. I don't know why. I just do.
How is she doing? She's just trying to...
So Angeline, you've been friends with Malaya since childhood.
Yep.
And Cheryl, you's family as well. Can you walk me through May 2nd when you learned they were missing?
I learned on a Facebook post. Me, my sister, and my friend were fishing, and I just happened to scroll Facebook. And I saw the post from the RCMP that Lily and Jack were to help look for them. Before we got there, we thought that they would have been found. You know, these situations are usually resolved quickly.
How would you describe the scene that day?
Chaotic. It was very chaotic. It was busy. A lot of people, neighbors, friends, all kinds of different search and rescue. It was stressful.
And that was the first time there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you walk me through when you learned about their disappearance? Where were you?
I was at work when I learned about it. The notification popped up on my phone. I don't think I looked at it right away because I didn't look too deep into it. But then my coworker at lunchtime, she brought it up and she started reading like the whole thing out loud. And when she said the two names, I was like, hold on, like, wait a minute. And I just grabbed and called Malaya and I was like, are your kids missing? And she said yes. And she was very upset. Like, you could tell through the phone that she had been crying about it.
Yeah, and you were working. Did you go there that day?
I didn't that day, no.
And Cheryl, I mean, for you, you were there. How was she doing that day?
There was a lot of ups and downs.
Sorry, but anyone can put on tears on a phone, right? Anyone can, especially women. Women know how to turn the waterworks on for no fucking reason. So that's a knack we've got. And men don't like it. I've never used that, to be honest with you. Never. But I do know some people do use it. And have used it. The waterworks. To get what they want. So, if you're on a phone, it's easy. It's like I've always said, like lying. If I don't want to tell the truth to someone, I can't because my eyes can't give me away. So if someone says something to me, don't tell such and such, I'll go, okay, but they're going to tell as soon as they ask me. They're going to see my eyes. So what I tend to do, hopefully if it's in the summer, I wear sunglasses because I can lie the fuck. I can lie like hell with sunglasses on because I know they can't see my eyes. Right? My eyes give me away all the time. But as for crying and seeming upset on the phone, and women can do that. It's an art they have.
I think herself, she thought going to be found and that it was going to be resolved. And I don't think it set in until late that night that, you know, something wasn't right.
And so the blanket that was found. Were you there when that was found?
I wasn't there when the blanket was found, but I was taken
Back to it, otherwise this is
to
going
where
to
the
happen.
blanket was found,
And they
and it
did
was
it.
still in the tree at that point.
They did
when
my
we had
husband.
walked up.
Can you walk me through that? What was the blanket? What was the deal there?
It was just a piece of Lily's, was used to cover a hole that was in like the window or door where cold air was coming in, and the piece that was in the blanket was hung over the back railing, and the other piece was thrown out, I think late spring, and then it was found in the tree a couple kilometers up the road.
What did you think about that?
I found it odd, very odd, that it would go from the house to...
Yeah, that is odd. That a blanket they was using to as a draft excluder or something, which they then said after they finished with it, they threw it out. You looked in that garden, they didn't throw a feck all out. Right? But for a blanket to be away from the house, that is odd.
the tree.
The boot print, fixated on this case and know this. What do you make of the boot print that matches Lily's foot size and boot print?
It was a clump of them. It wasn't like a trail leading up to like a set of footprints walking up anywhere. Is it
Just one? Oh, okay. What's your impression of that, Cheryl?
Kind of the same as Angeline. When you find a cluster of footprints just in the middle of the road, you're kind of looking around wondering their footprints leading up to this cluster is, and there are many.
These things, the blanket, the boot print, seem odd to you both.
Yeah.
So in terms of the RCMP investigation, Angeline, we'll start with you. What's your take on where that stands?
It's been slow. I don't know why it's been slow. Like, I don't know if it's because of the lack of evidence they might have, or if it's just because it's like a really peculiar case. I'm sure that's part of it. I'm just like, if they were able to step back and look at it from like maybe more of an abduction, like something more criminal, if they would make any more headway than what they have by viewing it as a missing persons case.
Do you believe it's criminal?
I think it's a possibility, and I do think that they should look into it so that it can be ruled completely off.
How would you describe the mood that day?
It was different. It was kind of odd, I guess. For the situation, I didn't really know what to expect. It was different.
How was it odd?
A lot of controversy, a lot of family issues, a lot of family dynamics. Like I said, it was my first time over there, never met anybody over there, just didn't feel very welcoming.
Do you want to speak to why you hadn't been over there?
Kind of lost touch with Malaya after she had moved over there. And I feel bad about keeping in touch with her, but I didn't know how else to get a hold of her.
What were you surprised about when you got there?
The conditions that the kids were living in, things that we had learned through looking for the kids.
A lot of the speculation has been, why did Malaya and her family leave and not come back? Mm-hmm. Anything you'd like to say about why that decision was made?
She had left because we weren't leaving her there.
What concerned you the most?
Just the condition of the house. I mean, I know that not everybody fancy house, not everybody is rich, but there's things that you can do to improve your living conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she never grew up that way. Her mom, nice clean house, and her mother always had a nice clean house too, and that's how she was. That's what she was.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm very familiar with her too. Like, I'd be going over and she'd be like in the middle of like cleaning or doing some type of like chore for the day.
And so how are you supporting her now through this?
She has been here pretty much every day since the kids went missing. Yeah. We just try to.
So she left because her friends were leaving and they was not going to leave her there. Right? Now, I don't think she had that little child took off her, but I think CPS were involved. Right? It's a bit weird when I say CPS because CPS is Child Protection Services, but it's also the in the UK, it's the Crime Prosecuting Service. You know what I mean? But I think CPS was involved, and that's why the stepfather was having to make appointments to see his daughter, so that the mother could bring the daughter up to wherever. Then he'd spend time with the little girl. Then at the end, the mother would take the child home to wherever she was staying, and then he'd go home.
Guide her in the right direction and give her the hope that the kids will be found.
Yeah, the support that she needs to like navigate it. Either like just us being there talking about what she could do and like how it might be like a benefit.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
Not great. I've noticed a significant decrease in her weight since the kids have gone missing. She's just trying to take it day by day.
Okay. And so how did the rest of that week go?
It was hard, especially the 6th day when they scaled back the search and gave the briefing that they did. It was hard to hear that, but we never gave up the hope of finding them. And we still don't.
And I understand there was a request for an Amber Alert.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
We had asked for an Amber Alert a few hours after the kids had went missing, and we were told that they were working on it. So they had to send it to their supervisor, whoever deals with the Amber Alerts, and it come back saying that it didn't meet the criteria because apparently you have to have like a suspect or reason to believe that they could have been abducted. So all we got was a vulnerable missing person alert, and it only went to Pictou County, Antigonish, and Truro, I believe. So it didn't even go like Nova Scotia wide, just those 3 areas. So that was pretty disappointing.
So you were told there would be an Amber Alert coming?
Yeah. They said they were we'd ask them every hour, and a lady would tell us that they were working on it, and yeah. And then we never got one. We were disappointed.
Yeah, with an Amber Alert, you have to this a certain you got a tick, right? Well, like when you look at Sebastian, he was put down as an endangered missing child on the Monday. But by the Tuesday, they'd upgraded it to an Amber Alert. And that's why I think it was on the Tuesday they'd seen that video of the lights, the car and the lights, and the car in the area at 3 o'clock in the morning. So they knew there was a car in the area, and it was in the round about the 3 o'clock period, between the period from when Sebastian, when she'd gone to bed at 12 and when she'd go up at 6. So it's in that 6-hour window. And so that's why it went to an Amber Alert, because of that car. Right, so it's just annoying. It's this. I think Amber Alert should go out to any child. Doesn't matter whether whether there's a car there or a person, or if you believe there's a person who could kidnap them. It shouldn't matter if there isn't any of them. If there's a child under the age of 16, say, then the Amber Alert should go out straight away. No ifs, no buts. But you see, it just shows the Amber Alert doesn't really work that well. Because Seth said he never received that Amber Alert when it went out. A lot of people were saying they never received the Amber Alert. So, I don't know what happens there, you know what I mean? But I do believe it should go out automatically.
But it also gave us reason to think that woods and that they were going to be found and that nobody took them.
And you've both been out there. We met at the volunteer search back in November. What were your impressions going back to the scene then?
We were hoping that we would be able to find them, to have some type of closure to the case. But being out there gave us a little more insight of the area, where it wasn't as busy that day as it was on May 2nd. So we were able to really look around and get a feel for, what the woods was really like.
And so leaving there, what did you feel?
We felt a lot of disappointment, but also a lot of relief. We didn't find them, so it gave us hope that they're still okay.
Did you leave there with the impression they weren't in the woods?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you go through the woods with the lens of two little children navigating that, and whether that would be...
We did, like the cliffs and the hills and the water, and the amount of times that we had fallen. A number of us fell. There was a few injuries throughout different teams. Yeah, it's hard to think that they could have navigated any further than a kilometer, really.
And so now that
they couldn't. The furthest they would have got to is that little area just on their land, just off their driveway, that little wooded area there. That's the furthest they would have got. Because after that, you're climbing over falling down trees, you're going through bramble bushes, you've got to cut through streams. You know what I mean? They couldn't do it without leaving some trace of them behind. So, like, scratches on the hands. I don't know how many times when I've gone into brambles to get when our kids were little, and they've hit the ball and it's gone into brambles. I'm thinking, you little bastards, right? But I go, I'll get it, kids. As you dive into these brambles and you come out, you've got thorns all over you and scratches and cuts. So they wouldn't have got through there, and there would have been some DNA of theirs. There would have been some blood from the scratches and the cuts. There'd be rips, even if it's just a thread off their clothing. There'd have been something, but there wasn't. So I don't believe there was ever in those woods, right? Or if there was, they'd been carried in there, which means 2 people had to be involved to carry them, and they'd been buried somewhere. So the only other explanation I can think of is well, at first I did think perhaps little Lily, for it's school day, we got to go to school. That's why she took her backpack, right? And she's got their wellies on, and she put his wellies on, and they've gone out and gone down. But they've missed the school bus, and they've been waiting at the bottom of the drive, not realising they've missed the school bus, right? And someone's come along and picked them up. That's a possibility. Or sometime after they went to the shops on the Thursday, something happened, and they someone got rid of them that way from the Thursday, and then on the Friday, right, made up this concocted story up about seeing them, hearing them in the house playing, and then all of a sudden it's gone quiet, so they get up to have a look, and they're not there. You know what I mean? And that door, that sliding door, it's a rickety old door. You'd hear that door.
More than 8 months into this, what's everyone doing with this?
Seems like it gets worse every day.
Frustration comes to mind, especially when you sit there and you kind of feel like your hands are tied, how much that you can do. Like, how many times you can go out in search of woods. You feel limited on the types of things that you can do.
What keeps you up at night?
I feel like it's just trying to piece together, like, what happened. Because maybe you could figure that out, then you would know where they might be. But it's just the not knowing. Yeah.
We don't really have any direction, so we're not sure which way to go. A lot of components to this case, and you worry about if you're missing something, or if you know something that's, little that could matter.
What's not adding up for you?
The whole case.
Anything in particular?
The different stories we've heard over, if you don't know what happened, then there shouldn't be any stories. It should be, I don't know. And yeah, that's very frustrating when you have so many different people telling so many different stories. It makes it hard to figure out what really happened.
Let's dive into that. So stories are being shared, lots of speculation online, particularly YouTube shows.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What's that been like?
The internet can be a great thing, but it also can be a really terrible thing. We have met some really great people through this whole tragedy, and we've also met some really mean, nasty people. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of theories, a lot of blame. Yeah, it's been really hard.
It's definitely just the word to use, rating. It can take away from the main point of the case. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I guess you don't know what little thing might come up on there that could actually benefit it.
How has it affected your life?
Probably in the fact that it's can be time consuming.
I've had people post my address online. I've had people sit across the road, take pictures of my house. Just a lot of nasty things. In the beginning, a lot of people blamed us for having kids. A lot of people don't know the dynamics around the situation and know that we didn't speak to Malaya for almost 2 years prior to the kids going missing. We didn't know where she lived.
For you, Angeline, seeing your best friend going through this, what's that like for you?
It's definitely highlighted seeing how her world turned upside down. It also is where I look at the social media a lot. It's seeing the lack of like empathy or like the lack of people wanting to be open-minded and understanding and like constantly blame her. I find that's what really bothers me the most. But at the end, I don't know. I know her. I'm a stranger to them. Like, how are they going to trust my word? And you have people who turn around and say, well, you think you might know someone. So it feels like a never-ending battle, and she's not a bad person, not a bad mom.
I guess if you know Malaya, you would know that that isn't out of the ordinary for her. That's just who she is. She was always quiet. She was never a confrontational person. She only likes to talk to certain people. She doesn't like to broadcast herself. She's just, if you know her, then it's just the way she is. And I know that odd may seem to be what people would do if their two kids were missing, but until you're in that situation, you really don't know how you would act.
React. And I swear to God, I would not stop. I don't care if the police say, we need you at home. No. My kids aren't here. They're out there somewhere. That's where I'm going to be. Out there somewhere. You know what I mean? You want me to stay here? Get the straight jacket, because otherwise I'm out of here. Bye. And I'd be gone. Especially when, like, you've got two people. You've got a mother and a husband, or a mother and a partner, or a father and a partner. Right? Don't need both of you to stay at home. I know why they don't want you going out searching, because in case you come across the body and the first reaction you want to do is go up and grab that child, and you know what I mean? And you can't. And so I can understand that. But as a mother, I'll be crawling through them bramble bushes and over them trees and all that lot. Wading through the fecking rivers. I really would. So I just can't understand it when mothers don't do that. I don't. But I don't know if you noticed that one video I played yesterday, and it was about one of the search parties going out. Yeah, Malaya and her friends were there at the search party, so that she is going out doing searches. So give her that. She is going out doing searches. She was at that one search party because he said he had to. He don't normally do it. He said, but he had to like weed the volunteers out. He said because you got people who are just coming just for the story, not to search. They just want that. Oh, I've been by, done this, and this is what we found, and all this lot. It's just for clicks and views, yeah. And so he said there's a few people he said no to on the search because he said you had to consider that Malaya was there in the search party, and we have to consider her, you know. And I thought, well, yeah, I can understand that. But so yeah, she has been going out searches apparently.
The speculation is towards Malaya, that Malaya knows where the kids are, that she had something to do with their disappearance.
Exactly.
Some people have even gone as far
Exactly.
as to say that she murdered them, or that they're on the reserve being hidden, which is absolutely insane. If, people don't think that the RCMP haven't looked into that after 8 months, it's just beyond me.
And how does the intense spotlight internationally for this contribute to that?
In some aspect, we think it's good because we want to keep them out there. We want people to see them, especially if somebody did take them and somebody just happens to see them and then sees that they're online, or if Jack and Lily are watching TV themselves and they know that we're still looking.
Yeah.
What would you like the public to know?
We'd like them to know that we're still looking for Jack and Lily, and just because we're not online broadcasting doesn't mean that we're sitting behind the scenes not doing anything, because we've done our own searches. We've done posters, we've done, a lot of things behind the scenes, but we don't feel the need to have to tell the internet and the public everything that we're doing to keep their name out there. We're not looking for the attention. We're trying to keep the focus on Jack and Lily.
As the 1-year anniversary hovers there, what's the goal going towards that?
To hopefully find them before that. A year is a long time, and it's hard to believe we're almost at that point. It's hard not knowing. It's hard to think that they possibly could be in the woods and that we may have missed them, or that somebody took them and they could be anywheres after 8 months, or, the possibility of somebody hurting them. Those things you think of constantly.
Do you ever have a day when you think, okay, this must be what happened? Or
All
is it
the time, yeah. And then
does that change?
It does, yeah. You always see something new and you're like, oh, well, maybe this happened. And then you go back to square one, and yeah, we're almost at a dead end, basically.
But when it comes down to it, it's just not adding up?
No. It didn't from day one.
Cheryl, what's making you tear up right now?
It's just hard.
You try to hold it together. how much of your day is spent holding it together? I mean, you're there with Malaya constantly.
When I'm at work, I'm okay.
You keep working to keep some level of normalcy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to.
What has this done to the family?
I feel like it's the only thing that I think about
Yeah.
is when they'll have some kind of good news from the RCMP.
In an aspect, it's kind of brought everybody closer, and we all have one main focus, and it's to find Lily and Jack and hopefully find answers that happen to them.
Right. So that was the first one. So yeah, on that one video I showed you yesterday, she was in the search party for that. So at least she's out looking. You know what I mean? And now we know why she left that home. I think it was a bit of everything. I think it is a bit of her friends. You're not staying here, right? What the hell? Stop! Stop! Right. Sorry about that. I thought, where that voice coming from then? I'm thinking, it's freaking me out then, yeah, it was. So, I think it was a bit of both. You're not staying here. You know what I mean? This is not safe, it's not healthy to be living like this. And then I also think CPS probably said, if you probably have said to her, if you go back there, you'll lose your daughter. If you take your daughter back to that caravan, that trailer, you're going to lose your daughter. So by not going back to the trailer, he's wanted to see his daughter, so he's had to go through CPS to see his daughter. So, right. What's the other one I want to? Not that one, not them ones yet, not Jack and Jenny. No. We've seen that one. Seen that one. Oh yeah, this one. Hopefully it'll start playing for me. So there's one question.
And the fact that it's found
Why
in
she
the
left
water,
the family home.
downriver, yeah, it's just strange. It's strange. So we're organizing a search for
Don't
Jack and
play
Lily
it with me
Sullivan.
now.
We are relying on community members
I think this might be the one where she's at. I'm not sure.
to come and join those efforts. We're going to offer like a little bit of shooting from the hip training on walking along looking for evidence. I've had about 40 people volunteer, but overnight you've had people drop out, so I would be over the moon if 30 people showed up. Your safety does come first. We are looking for the kids, but your safety comes first. I would say mostly family and friends, and then there's just like concerned members of the community that wanted to help search, and this is their opportunity to get that. We were not getting involved. We were trying to stay far away from this because we felt that the RCMP were heavily involved, search and rescue involved. They were doing a bang-up job from what we could see from the outside looking in, and as soon as you start having conversations with the family, when any family member fills out an intake with Please Bring Me Home, we always get involved in of course it's sad we're going to search for 2 missing kids, but I think that the community and the family coming together to do this effort, and a crew coming from Ontario is hopefully overpowering that somberness.
How could children walk through something like that?
Has been going so far.
There's no way they
It's
could
been a
walk through
wee
the
bit
ground. Look,
Just trying to manage
they're going to leave
outside
jail.
to make
Some
sure that the
trace
searchers
them
are
there.
safe, and there's 6 groups, so it's a lot of moving around and making sure that they're okay. Like I've had to get 2 people out who needed to go out because it was too much for them. So that's been a little bit difficult to manage. And then the walkie-talkie's not working properly. It's been really difficult, but I know where everybody is now, and we've only got a couple hours left of sunlight, so we're ahead of the game. There has been some items located that would initially be like items of interest, so it looked to be like a boy's t-shirt we had located. We sent that to the RCMP. They're going to connect with family to see if it appears familiar. At this time, it doesn't appear to be a familiar shirt. Found like a box with some people's names in it that are interesting that we're going to turn over to the RCMP.
Yeah, one of them is
They're actually on
father.
duty today, so just in the
my
event that we do
Malaya's
find
name.
something. And they were in the box that we found. I can't say, but they're interested in that. And the fact that it's found in the water, downriver, yeah, it's just strange. We're going to go and just check in with 2 of the search teams. This is a rickety road we're going to be going down to reach them, though. Likely going to be picking up 2 of them to come back to vehicles so that they can come and the rest of them can get picked up.
I'm good. Anyone want out of this?
I'm going to go to the pipeline, it is the pipeline trail, and then walk on the opposite side of the woods. It's a pretty thick trail, and then I guess just follow along the water. Do you guys think, see what time you're at when you get to the water, though? Because you'll see you're still...
Yeah, I got you.
You're got a ways up here to go and down there, and I want to start really getting people out by 4.
Yeah, what time is it now?
2. Yeah, 2 hours. This, by far, has been the most difficult to manage during the search because you're having to check in with each team and things come up. You have to go and talk to property owners who are upset that we're there.
I will have you charged for trespassing on your property.
Do it!
This has been by far one of the more difficult ones to manage from a safety perspective.
Oh, yeah. There. Do you know who that was? That was the stepfather. So whatever the stepfather's name is, can't think. It was his father. Because I've got some clips, I think it's on my X account, which I will show you actually. And he's having an argument with this one guy. He's just out there walking along the side of the road, right, to go and search. and he's having an argument with this one guy. I thought, fuck me. You know what I mean? He's out there looking for. There's 2 children, and you're having a go at him. And then he won't let them on their property, on his property. Why? Why won't he let them on his property? The police could go on their property. And apparently the police did go and check his property, I think, the 3rd day after the kids went missing. So
Now that I've been here, I'm in my own mind trying to comprehend how it could be possible that these kids wandered off and they haven't been found. Especially after being in there and seeing all the flagging tape and hearing from all the we spoke with what the searching has been done. I'm having a really hard time fathoming that probability now that I've seen it for myself.
And what makes you say that?
yeah, I agree there.
Many things, but I think most importantly it is
Totally agree with you there.
the effort that search and rescue has put forward to try and find these and how quick they were able to start that process. I just find it more unlikely by the minute today that it had wandered. I'm not saying it's not possible. I after seeing it, I can't understand how they wouldn't have been found that first day.
Yeah.
We're not stopping.
fine.
Like we have to stop because winter's approaching, and we will come back in springtime and do a search, dependent on what our CMP's involvement in springtime will be. So, and who knows what will be learned throughout the winter. When the families ask for help, you can't really say no, whether it's a current case or whatever. We have the capacity to do it. We shot from the hip to clear many kilometers just by asking for locals to come help. So it can certainly be done, and we're in it until they're found.
All right. Let's just take this off. Yeah. That's it, yeah. So, well, I'll find my ex. I'm sure it's on my ex account because I'm seeing it. Oh my God. And after my live finished, I thought, fuck. Oh, drop that. But the father, Daniel, like his father, nasty piece it is. Come on, my ex. Oh, God. For some reason it's taking forever to load up. Right. No, it's not that one. Not that one. Not that one. No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. No. A lot of this is saying we know back. No back. Where are they? Where is it? I can't find it. could have sworn I seen it and shared it. Oh no, I'll put a link. Was it TikTok? I'll put a link, Jackie. Oh. Yeah. Nothing there. I don't know. But there was this guy who was just out there searching. Right? He was walking along the roadway or some driveway or whatever. And it wasn't on this man's property. Right? And he starts having a go at him about, what are you doing around here? Why you got the camera on me for? He said, I didn't have the camera on you. I'm out here looking for 2 little children. And he's having a right go at him about it. And I thought, oh my Lord. If I find it, I will share it on my community page. So, if you've made it this far, please hit that like button. It don't cost you anything. And if you want to see more of this, then please hit the subscribe. Don't cost you a penny. That's all I ask, is you hit the like and subscribe. That is it. My channel is not monetized, will never be monetized. I might monetize my other channel when the time comes up, because that isn't about children, really. That's about lots of injustices and everything. So, but this channel is mainly my main. I do look at older people, the older people who go missing, like Nancy. Oh, I can't think of her name now. Right? And things like that. I do look at other older cases, people in older cases. But it's mainly young children. Something about young children tugs at my heart. So, I can't find that. So I might as well shut my X account down for now. Let's see what else. Right. We're going to go over to Jack Sullivan Spirit Box session. Credit Kylie. Hold on, I've just got to get it up. When it lets me. Let's get my credit up. Where's my credit? Hold on. I just got to do a credit for. Hold on. They're impatient, these spirit boxes are, aren't they? I think I noticed it today. Other channels just got sense. Yeah. She's just got it as Kylie. But this is Jack Sullivan Spirit Box session.
Close.
Sentence. Thank you.
Does. Steal. Leave.
Leave. Be right back. I'll get coffee.
Kill. Hunt. Mount. Position. Finger. Lot. You. Provide. Truck.
Is that it finished? Yeah, we're going on to Lily's now. Lily Sullivan's spirit box session.
Magnet. Sugar.
Oh, so you see that? Yeah.
Claim. Feel.
Isn't asking me to work that father. Daniel, your father. But if I find it, I'll post it on my community page.
Throw. Property.
Property. Whose property?
Solution. Oxygen. Salt.
Could there be salt mines round there?
Condition. Correct. Nor. Discuss. Slave. Have. Smell.
Smell. Sleep.
Thank. Apple. Spend. Connect. Print.
Print.
String. Rod. Far. Shoe. Magnet. Anger.
Right, let's turn that off. Right, so I got to think that. You know what I mean? But what are your views on this? Like, my view is, if they are still alive, they are not in the woods. If they're still alive, they are not in the woods. But if they are still alive, then who took them? Now, yesterday in that interview that Daniel was giving, he was asking, could Malaya have got up while he was sleeping without him knowing? And he was really sticking up for her, saying no, because the baby was on her arm and all this lot. Right? So now let's twist it, turn it the other way. Could he have got up off the bed? Right? While she was sleeping. Could he have made arrangements for someone to come and pick these kids up? Because remember, the bio father was not paying any child support because he wasn't working. And that's probably why he went back to live with his mother. Right? So could he have slipped out of that bedroom? While she was sleeping with the baby in her arm? Is that a possibility? Could he have arranged with someone to come and pick the kids up? Could he have walked the kids down to the end of the driveway where there's a car parked up there somewhere? And told them, look, we're going to surprise your mum. They're going, you know what I mean? You're going to go somewhere, get your mum something nice, and then you're going to come back with it. Anything. They could have told these kids anything. But then you could twist it again. It's like I said like how Malaya was out in the search parties. Could it be she went out on these search parties with her friends because they was twisting her arm? Come on, you've got to do this. Yeah? And could she have done it in another way so that she could find out where they had searched and where they were searching? So if they was getting close to anywhere where the children was, she'd know. Is that why she's not eating and sleeping or whatever? because she's worried that with these searches going on, still, someone is going to find them. In which case, I think it was both Malaya and Daniel. He's too confident. There's something about him. I've always said I didn't think he was guilty, right? But he's too confident. It's like, I know something you don't know, sort of thing. And that's what I think he's going through his head. It's like, I know something you don't know. Yeah? Could have. Now, I do know they did search the father's property 3 days after the children went missing. Because he only lives down the road. Right? But what's saying they had the children hidden somewhere else first? And then when they knew all the family had been checked, then they brought the children back to his property. And that's why he won't let no one on his property. And everyone said Malaya was such a good mom. She didn't shout at the kids. She'd say to them, like, Lily, what did I say? You know what I mean? She wouldn't shout at them and scream at them. So, would she hurt her children? I don't know. And if she has hurt them, could that be a reason she's moved away from the home as well? But I think the reason she moved was because of her friend saying, we're not leaving you here. This is healthy. You got a young baby, you know what I mean? And then you got the CPS people saying, if you go back to that house, that trailer, you will lose your daughter. So, makes you wonder, is she involved or not? Because you can twist it either way you want, you know what I mean? If you want her to be guilty, you can twist it to make it sound like she's guilty. Or if you want him to be guilty, you can twist it to make it look like he's guilty. So, well, what would be the point in hiding the children out? What's the point in that? Why keep the children alive but hidden? Because the father wasn't in the picture. He hadn't seen those kids for 3 years, so what? You know what I mean? He'd signed his custody over to of them. Signed his custody of the children over. So he had no legal hold of those children anymore, so he couldn't do nothing. There is a fishing spot not far from Daniel's home, and there is woods around it. He used to say he took the kids fishing. He said he used to take the kids fishing. And I know where it is. That it's a bit of a drive away. But could kids walk there through them woods? I don't think the kids would be able to walk there through the woods. But yeah, could they took them up that way? Hid them up there for a while? So it makes you wonder. But why would he hide them out? As I said, the bio father, had no legal hold over them no more. He wasn't paying child support no more because he wasn't working. But if he signed his rights over to those children, why was he paying child support then? up until at least 9 months before they went missing. Because it was 9 months before they went missing that he moved in with his mum. So as you can imagine, that's when the child support stopped because he wasn't working. So if he signed his rights over, right, why was he paying child support? He wouldn't have to. So, but you see, let's say we have a go about YouTubers are having pointing the finger at Malaya. Well, it's because we don't know her. No, we don't know her. She's done one interview, and that interview was as weird as fuck. You know what I mean? She's done one interview. I hope they feel a bit warmer today because the sun is going to be out today, so I hope they'll be a bit warmer today. So things that's weird. So was it being hidden? But why? It doesn't make sense. The children had boys. Oh, dear, was the one doing that? Oh, bruises. Yeah. Well, apparently not the mother, because they said the mother didn't shout at them. She just said, "Lily, what have we've spoken about that? Or, what have we said about that, Lily?" Or Jake, what have I said about doing that? Everyone says she's a really good mother. But then again, they could have got the bruises from Christ, look at the state of the garden. The home. Even her friend was shocked by the way she was living. So, and it's like she's let herself go. You look at the pictures when she first met Daniel. She's so slim, makeup on, hair done nice, lovely outfits, you know what I mean? And now you're seeing you go, girl, have you let yourself go? A bit like Katie. She let herself go. So, but the could got the bruises from just from around the property. My granddaughter's always getting bruises. And yet we don't know how she gets them. And I said, a little knock against the door frame or even against the door or against the chair at school and things like that can cause a bruise. Christ, I'm always covered in bruises. And I think, how the fuck did I get that bruise on my arm? Or, fuck me, where'd that bruise come through from on my leg? Because I can't remember knocking myself. But it's just from bumping into things without realising it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know you bumped into something, but it doesn't register up in your brain. Like, I've got to remember that for when the bruise comes out. That bruise is from when I walked into the door frame. Or that bruise is from when I fell off the chair drunk. And things like that. So, but children are always getting bruises. And he did have a bruise on his chin, didn't he? Or a sore, some sort of sore. On that one picture, there's like a sore. Like a scratch. Like when you fall over and you're scratching it, looked a bit like that, but on his chin. But then again, he could have fell over in the garden and a head planted the floor like my granddaughter does. So I only worry about bruises if it's only on one child. and there isn't places where a child shouldn't be getting bruises, like on his chest or on his back or even on the back of his legs. You know what I mean? Or round by his neck. If I saw bruises on a child like that, then I'd be going, okay, where are them bruises coming from? When she met him, she let herself go. And yes, she did. Really? But then again, I remember once when I had my son, right? How old did he need to be? He needed to be about 5, 4. I'm not sure if he was in school at the time or not, whether he started school. I don't think he had. We just moved into the flat and we missed the starting period for the nursery. Because then I can get my kids in that nursery at the age of 2. Yeah. I had my kids with me till they was 4. And I had my son with me until he was nearly 5. Well, he'd have been 5 in the January and he started school in the September. You know what I mean? So, and Vince had been doing some work around the flat. And he hadn't put all the wood away and stuff like that. And my son was doing this balancing trick with a piece of wood on something. Right? And I said, Simon, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. I told him 5 times, Simon, don't do it. You're going to hurt yourself. What does he do? Bunk, smack, straight in the face. We had to call the doctor out. And the doctor's going, how did this happen, Simon? And I'm standing there in the doorway thinking, tell him the truth, Simon. Tell him how you fucking bruised your eye and blacked it up like that. Please tell him how you done it. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking, he's thinking, it's child abuse here. But it wasn't. And I did even explain to him how it had happened, but he wanted to hear it off Simon. Fucking tell him the truth, you little bark. So, but he did have that scratch on his chin. It's in one of the photos. So, but as I said, look at the house, look at the garden. They'd fall over and they'd probably smack their head up on something. And it's like she said, I never allowed them outside on their own. So why wasn't the patio doors locked then? Why wasn't you up when your little ones got up? Why didn't you get up when you heard Jack and Lily get up? Why didn't you get up? Right? If Meadow was sleeping, fine, leave her there with the dad. Right? And then when Meadow woke up, you could come in to see to Meadow and then get your partner to go and keep an eye on the kids. But she didn't. And I think a lot of it was probably a bit prenatal. You know what I mean? Like she hadn't got the energy to keep being woken up during the night with the newborn and everything else. So I can sympathise with her there, but when you've got 2 little children, or even one other little child, you got to be up for that child. You got to. So I don't know what to think of this case. I think they could be buried on the father's property. I think something happened Thursday after the shopping trip. So that gives them all Thursday evening then, through the night, into the morning, to make sure everything's cleared up. If there was any drugs from the night before, make sure it's all cleaned up. Right? And it's like that pink blankie. they said they was using it as a draft exclude, right, on the door. And when they finished with it, they put it over the banister outside. And then they threw it away. So why was it, God knows where, up the road? How did it get from your property up the road? Yeah, honest to God. For you better tell that doctor the fucking truth, you little bastard. Because I warned him, not 3 times, but 5 times. I even said to Vince, move that out the way, please. Yeah, move that out the way, please. Simon's going to smack himself with it. You know what I mean? Neither of them were listening to me. Not the dad and not my son. So, they served themselves right. Went to school with a black eye the next day. And the teacher said, oh my God, what's he done? I said, ask him what he done. Right? And they said, what did he do, Simon? He said, I didn't listen to my mum. I was playing about this piece of wood on something. I can't remember. It's like a balancing thing he was doing. He said, and I didn't listen to my mum and it smacked me in the face. And she looked at me and I went, the wood smacked him in the face. You know what I mean? It's like my grandson. My daughter's not born. He calls me Granny High. Because I used to live in a high rise. So it's Granny High. And he said it once at school. Right? And the teachers looked at him and went, Granny High. And my daughter went, no, that's my mum. She lives in a high rise, so he calls her Granny High. And they went, oh. They're probably thinking, well, I'm high, I'm fucking God knows what. But I've told him, I said, you can't call me Granny High no more. I said, because I don't live in a high rise. I said, I live in a bungalow, like a cottage, a bungalow. He said, it's Granny Low then. Because I said bungalow. He now calls me Granny Low. I said, now I've gone from being high to depressed. So, but, you know, kids can hurt themselves. So if I see bruises where there shouldn't be bruises, then I'll get suspicious. Yeah, you hear everything. And if you look at that trailer, where the sliding doors are, go on the map, pull up the pictures of the trailer, everything. There's another door with like little steps going up to this other door. Now, where's that door lead to? Right? Because it's not the front door, because the front door is on the other side of the thing. And your friend is right. Okay, you may not have the best home, right? You may not have all the fitted appliances and everything you need, but there's no need to live in a tip, right? I'm asking my son if he can come over tomorrow sometime when I get back from the shop, so we can move my old washing machine from the back end of my garden down by my gate here at the front, in the back garden still, but nearer the back gate. I said, because I want to tidy up my back garden area. I can't do it while that washing machine's there. Right? And he said, oh, I can give them over tonight if you want. I said, no, tomorrow will be. Right? But you would, in that trailer, you'd hear everything. So, for them to say they wouldn't hear them doors as well, them sliding doors, that was rickety. They was ready to fall off. You know what I mean? I don't know what was keeping them sliding doors up. Because they're that old and rickety. Yeah. There's 2 of them there, so it doesn't need both of them to be sleeping in. So why couldn't he go up and see to the kids if she'd been awake all night with the baby? You know what I mean? And just let her have an hour's extra sleep or something. Why couldn't he get up? It's strange. And that's why people are saying they think there was drugs being taken. Because the fact that she was still asleep at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. God, I was looking with my son, as I said the other day. He'd have his last feed at 12 midnight, then he'd wake up at 6 a.m. I'd feed him again, change his diaper, and put him down. He'd fall asleep, so I'd put him back down, and I think, you know what, I'm going back to sleep. And he'd wake up about 9 o'clock, so then I'd get up again, change his diaper, give him some milk, get him dressed, because I'd take him out of his little nighty thing I had. The drawstring, brilliant thing they wear. Better than these onesies, where he's got all the poppers on them, right? And I'd get him dressed then. But I was up at 9 o'clock then, I was up. But if he'd have been up at 8 o'clock, I'd have been up at 8 o'clock. If he'd have been up at 7 o'clock, I'd have been up at 7 o'clock. So, there's no need for 2 of them to be sleeping in. No need. I know when I first had Simon and I brought him home, right, I had him by the side of me. And my husband would get up in the morning before me, because he knew I'd been awake till midnight. I used to stay awake until midnight, because it was pointless falling asleep for an hour or so to be woken up to have to give him a feed. So I purposely kept myself awake till 12 o'clock, so I could give him his feed and change his diaper and settle him down again for like 1:45. Right? And then I'd go to sleep till 6, same routine again. By 7:15, he'd be back down again. So I was only getting like an extra hour and 15 minutes before he'd wake up again. Hold on, I've got to go and find my phone. Hold on. There's my phone here. So that has always bothered me, the fact that they was both still in bed at 9:30 in the morning. So 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's really bothered me. And then when you hear about his father and how nasty he is, and the fact that he only lives down the road from them, could they be on his property buried? Could something have happened Thursday night without Malaya knowing? Could something have happened during the morning when they first got up without Malaya knowing? And he's come out and seeing it, and you know what I mean? But I think something happened Thursday night without her knowing. If this is the case, then I think something happened Thursday night without her knowing. And then while she's sleeping, he's got him out the house down to his father's. But someone said there was a lot of cars on that property, pulled up on that property on the Thursday. That's why people said there was a party going on. Was there a party going on? And they said no. But there was a lot of people at your property on the Thursday. So I don't know what to make of this case, but I really do not believe they are alive. My gut feeling is telling me they're not alive. Right? They're not in the woods. And if they are buried. So, but I don't think they are alive. So anyway, I'm going to record. Hold on. Let me just get rid of. I'm going to put that. Was that it? Yeah, that's the one. Put that back up. So if you've got to the end, everyone, on the screen is the link to my second channel, which talks about everything, which we will be looking into everything that we don't discuss on here. Right? Anything to do with the policing in the UK or even in the USA, anywhere. Anything to do with the justice system, the injustice of things, how people are treated. Anything to do with the governments and the prime minister, MPs and all that, like the senators and you name it. I will be talking and looking into all those sort of things on my other channel. I'll only be doing live videos. I will not be going live on it. Yes, I don't get that either. Why was no one, not one of them, up when Daniel said that Lily went in the bedroom around 8:30ish, allegedly? Yeah. Exactly. So why didn't you get up? Who is it like, well, I'm not getting up because she's not getting up. They're her kids. She can get up to them. She's the mum. You know what I mean? And he got that sort of mentality. It's just something about him. I don't know if something happened on the Thursday night, and possibly, but for 2 children to go missing, that's a big thing as well. 2 children go missing. I've heard of 1 child going missing, but never 2. Right? So, something must have happened to him. And I think he's got help from his family to get the children off the property without Malaya knowing. So, that's all I can think of. But I really don't think they are alive. So, as I said, there's my link to my new channel. If you've got there, if you're watching on replay, please go over and subscribe. Doesn't cost you a thing. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please go and subscribe to this channel as well. And I will see you all, what day are we on tomorrow? Wednesday. I will see you all tomorrow. Don't know what we're talking about yet. I really don't. So until then, stay safe everyone, and thank you all for being here. Good night. Oh, come on. It's not giving me the sound because it won't let my fucking arrow go. Come on.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patent it. Being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last.